India, where I live, the cost of petrol go up by 5 or 10 rupees. People get out on the streets and start banging pots and pans and be angry about it. I don't get this anymore, dude. Something is fundamentally wrong. We have wars nonstop. We have famines. We have hunger. We have economic crises. We have real hurt going on. We are running a fever. Whatever it is, man, but we all need to dance. We all need to protest. We just need a moment of punk rock. Just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they don't like you. You know what I say to that? Welcome back to the Gora Monologues. We're broadcasting live from Studio 4C at the Jeff Goldberg studio, live from Mumbai. It's the Gora Monologues by me, Jeff Goldberg. Even though my producers, which are me, myself, and I, are going to be a little bit annoyed at me at the end of the day and all the way through the day, I'm going to do what I want. And what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about punk rock. Why am I going to talk about punk rock? Because I think the world needs a little bit more punk rock. One of my cameramen, he's standing over there on the other side of the camera, and he's going to giggle when I say this, told me that I need to stop wearing skinny jeans, and I need to stop wearing my Doc Marten boots, and I need to change my look. You know what I say to that? That's what I say to that. Because I think the world needs a little more punk rock. What do I mean? I mean this. We're letting too many things happen, and nobody's angry about it. I don't get this anymore, dude. I mean, India, where I live, used to be a place where if the cost of petrol or oil or gas or whatever the heck you call it in your part of the world would go up by 5 or 10 rupees, people would get out on the streets and start banging pots and pans and be angry about it. Nowadays, it goes up by 20, 30, 40 rupees and no one says anything, right? We got people in office all over the world who are clearly not supposed to be there. And what do? We just switch on the television, we check out Instagram, and we just like it or dislike it. We share it, and somehow we think that that's a way to protest the moment. Now, I'm not saying you have to agree with me, because God knows you probably don't, and the comments will reflect that. But nonetheless, people feel passionately about things, but you feel passionately about things in the comments. That's not helping anyone. All right, you taking me down doesn't add any value to anyone's life, let alone mine. Sure, I'll read it and I'll respond, and maybe we'll get into one of these internet trolling chats where we wind up making fun of each other. But at the end of the day, how's that really helping? It's not. Right? And, I know I sound like the guy from the film Network, stick your head out the window and shout, I'm angry as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And maybe we should do that.
And stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Because we don't need to look any further at Instagram and or to know that something is fundamentally wrong. And it's not going away and it's not slowing down. In fact, it's getting faster and it's accelerating. I was just saying to someone the other day, the pandemic taught us to live with less. We were all thrust into this impossible situation where we had to live with less communication, less sharing, less food, less togetherness. Whatever it was, you were living in a state of a year or two of less. And I bet you in that time, sure, you were stressed about the less money you had. Sure, you were stressed about the less work you had. But I bet in the quiet, which you had a lot more of, in the moments to reflect, which you had a lot more of, in the togetherness with the people who you were sharing your home with, hopefully your family, you realized something really profound. You can live with less and be okay. In fact, you can even enjoy. In my case, I got 2 extra years of hanging out with my son. How cool is that? But as we emerge from the pandemic, we're in such a rush to fill in the blank that was those 2 years. It's like we need more than we ever did because somehow we missed out. This FOMO thing is driving everybody crazy. But if you emerge from the pandemic as a jerk, I assure you, you're a jerk. Because if that didn't humble you, if that didn't make you feel more connected to the guy down the street or the lady upstairs or your neighbor a few doors or a few streets over, then what will? Nothing, dude. But somehow now we wake up and we have this fever, an actual fever on our planet. What do you mean by a fever, Jeff? When you get sick, your body tells you you're sick because you start to run a fever. You don't feel well. Well, guess what? Our planet is burning up. And I'm not talking about the planet. Of course, I'm all for the environment. I'm all for fighting extinction. I'm all for the green movement. That's not what I mean, though. I'm saying our planet, the people that live on it, human beings. You know, we have this hyperbolic sense of ourselves where we think if, humanity dies out or we can't live somewhere, the planet's going to die. Guys, this planet's been here for 4 billion years. It's going to be fine. As a rock floating around the sun, she's good. As us on that rock floating around the sun, a little bit less good, a little bit more questionable. So let's tone it down and understand that we as a species are not the planet. Okay? But let's come over to our species and our society. We are running a fever. We're like at 106 or 39, depending upon whether or not you're going metric or you're going imperial. By the way, Americans, honestly, guys, like seriously, I'm from your country. Love you all, peace and happiness. But guys, the imperial thing, it's time to move on. Let's join the rest of the world. Hold hands, sing kumbaya. The metric system works. It's kind of cool. Even your doctors and your engineers agree with me. So that said, moving along, turning the page. Here's the deal. We have wars nonstop. We have famines, we have hunger, we have economic crises, we have real hurt going on. We are running a fever. And we need to find a remedy. And that remedy, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to offer up a solution because God knows I don't know what it is. But I do think I know something that's going to make us all feel a little bit better, which is grow a mohawk. Put on your Doc Marten boots, find your favorite punk band, flick it in or on to whatever device you listen with, turn it up real loud, and dance. Let go, have a laugh, have a cry. If it's not punk rock and it's electronic music or rock and roll or dance music or traditional music, whatever it is, man, but we all need to dance. We all need to feel. We all need to protest. We just need a moment of punk rock for one damn second where we forget about all this craziness and just exhale it and realize that we can live with less, we're better with less, we're better with each other, stop fighting each other, and just realize that just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they don't like you. And just because someone doesn't like you doesn't mean they don't have something to teach you. I mean, when did it become okay to just only have people around you that you agree with, man? When did it become okay to only have one set of opinions and those are the right opinions and everything else is wrong? Now you're going to say, Jeff, but throughout history that's true. And you know what? Throughout history that is true. No doubt there were prevailing opinions and no doubt there were prevailing ideas, but guess what? We fought wars over them and a lot of people died. And I hope that in the breadth of history, now here we are in the 21st century, we've learned that we can actually share ideas, that we can actually collaborate with each other, and that we're better when we do than when we don't. So, all I'm asking you to do, don't stick your head out the window. Please stick your head out the window if you want, but just make sure that you're not in a moving car because God forbid something hits you. However, you do you. But all I want you to do is think about something, feel it, and try to be better about it. Try real hard to have that punk rock moment, that dance moment, that moment where you're trying to make it better, where you're trying to heal the fever. You know, words like humanity and healing, togetherness, community, they sound like bad words today. I'm going to share a word with you that most people, they brandish it around like it's something they deserve or something that's owed to them, but they're not willing to do anything for it. Love. Yeah, I know. I went from punk rock, Rancid, and Social Distortion all the way to John Lennon and Yoko Ono. But here's the deal, man. Flower power or punk rock, I don't care what language of music you speak. I don't care if you're into traditional Japanese or Western classical or Indian classical or Hindustani or Sufi or whatever turns you on. You're there because you love it. Just like the relationships that are meaningful to you. You're there because you love those people. And I think the world could do a lot better with a little bit of love. So, I'm going to wear my skinny jeans, Rahul. He's the cameraman. All right? And I'm going to be as animated and as angry and as emotional as I always am, Brian. And this time around, all I wanted to do was just let off some steam and open it up. I'm sure the comments are going to be lit up with a whole bunch of opinions, and I welcome them. I'm not asking you, like I said in the last episode, to like me. I just hope I agitated you a bit. Go hug the ones you love. Love the one you're with. Hey, see, I'm quoting music now. And enjoy the rest of whatever day it is and whatever part of the world it is you're watching this in. And we're broadcasting live from Studio 4C in Mumbai, India. Much love.